did this at work, at the office. I can't read the little ones. Even with glasses, I can't read them.
I think John's the only one we're expecting that's not here yet.
So I was doing a survey. Have you had your vaccine yet? Yeah, I've had both of mine. It's over a month. Well, April 8th was the date. It was marked 2 weeks after I got my second Pfizer shot. So.
My second Moderna was Friday. And I didn't have any kind of reaction.
After that second one, for more than 2 or 3 days, I just felt
Hey, Steph,
tired and achy.
what's John's cell phone?
In
I am
addition to
reaching
the
out to him
soreness,
right now.
you know, but
Huh?
Reaching out to him right now.
Because again, I got
But that's
a
all
text
cleared
here
up,
from somebody at 9:30 this morning. It was a 402-651-3131.
Let's see.
And it says, good
Ooh.
morning,
Yep, 402-651-3131, yep.
but it is not looking good. I have a conflict, so he's not coming.
Oh,
Okay,
Do we have quorum with 4?
I think,
yes.
4 is the minimum.
All right, 'cause I got 7:01. I tell you what. Steph, you all set?
Yep, you did, yep.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this evening's Charter Township of Independence and Clarkston Community Schools Video Center Administrative Board meeting to order. It is April 14th at 7:01 PM. If we could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Stefan, will you please take roll call?
Sure. I do not have a roll call sheet.
All righty.
Um,
Deanna, John, Rob,
Here.
Bill,
Present.
me, I'm here, Pat.
I'm here.
Okay.
So we got 4, we got quorum.
And then Matt and Stefan are also here.
Very good. I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
yes.
Motion's been made, motion's been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. There are no carryover postponed items, so let's get into regular business. First agenda item this evening is a request to approve the minutes, but we do have one minor amendment to the minutes. It would be on page 1 under regular business, under the budget report. There was a question made by Member Reed about a negative balance, so that Mr. Reed's name needs to be inserted there. So with that minor adjustment, I would
Move to approve the 2/10/21 minutes as amended.
Support.
motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Second item on the regular business agenda, review the 2020-2021 Video Center Budget Report ending March 31st. Mr. Stefan Merck.
Well, I don't have a ton new things to report here. However, I do want to make a couple notes. On the revenues line there, under fundraising, you'll see that actual year to date is $1,016.65, and then right next to it, available, is a negative. This is just an accounting thing for us because we don't budget how much we will bring in from fundraising. It is just to make those numbers work out. However, you'll see in the projections we are expected to bring in the $1,016.65. The other thing I would note is under telephone, under operating costs, we've so far have spent $7,300. That line has been running under. So AT&T has probably changed how much they charge us a year for T1 lines, but we'll kind of see where that ends up. That is about it. You'll see on the right side of the spreadsheet there, the projections. You'll see that I've projected that salaries, we're gonna spend about 12. That is because we do anticipate hiring 2 interns. One of them will be a high school intern, which will get paid from that line. And then that's about it. I'm projecting we will probably, be left with about 80,000 at the end of the year. We'll kind of see where things end.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, Stefan, but the T1 lines, there's talk of those possibly going away or
Yes,
changing at some point.
and I will kind of discuss that when we
Matt,
get to our,
Would you mind speaking into the mic, please?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you.
My understanding too is the T1 lines might be changing or going away, so I wouldn't be surprised if that whole funding line shifts around quite a bit if those change or in fact go away.
The T1 line's going away because of the fiber optic replacement, or?
so, nope, so, it's just how the AT&T is kind of pulling away from T1 lines. So we are just gonna change who we use to send AT&T U-verse, our 2 channels to AT&T U-verse moving forward. So we're probably gonna end up moving to Comcast is what I would suspect.
Yeah, that whole T1 line for AT&T has always been a thorn in our side as far as getting them hooked up and then the monthlies that they nick you for it.
Correct.
Yeah,
So-
since the beginning,
Yeah,
since
Yeah,
the
that
very first day we
pretty
tried.
much goes back to the dawn of time, so. Steph, so what are you projecting here on your fund balance increase?
We're projecting that it should be I'm projecting to carry over about 80, so it should end up in that 350 range is at the end of this budget year, which is June 30th.
Anybody have any questions for Stefan? Yeah, I'd just like to congratulate you and thank you for being a good steward of the funds over here. So this is no small task, doing the juggling, and anything we can look for efficiencies would be much appreciated. All right, if there's no further questions, next item on the agenda is a request to approve a budget amendment special payout.
I move to approve the 1920 Video Center budget amendment by decreasing group disability by $48 and increasing the special leave payout by $48.
I will second that. If there's any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say no. All right, Steph, you're on a roll here. Request to approve the 2021 video budget proposal.
Okay,
For
so.
the agenda.
So I am gonna start off with that first page there, the budget narrative, and I think we can kind of go through this and pretty much hit almost everything we need to hit. So, our lease payments are gonna remain the same. We're still collecting 200,000 from the township, 18,000 from Springfield. Edges staff, that line had some increases going forward because now we pay our full-time staff member from that line, and we pay their health insurance, and that line also covers our part-time staff. Some major changes to this next year's budget are really our labor costs are basically moving from being a school employee to an edge staff employee. They're both school employees. We just a different place where we pay them from. That is the big change. You will see, kind of coming back to the T1 lines and telephone, you'll see that I did not change what that is going forward. The big reason for that is I don't know what the new cost is gonna be. And so might as well leave it there and we'll see when we make that move. Some other things to note on, like things that could make this budget change are, we don't know what we're gonna collect in underwriting. Movies in the Park has been doing very well for us, so we will definitely collect from that. We've begun doing our underwriting for games and stuff, so we'll see how that turns out.
I'll move to approve the 21-22 video center budget as presented.
I'll second that.
I just wanted to make one clarifying comment. I just noticed it. It's correct on the MAF, but in the agenda it says 2020, 2021 budget. It should be 2021 to 2022 budget. It's correct on the MAF, but just not on the agenda. Just wanted to make it clear what budget year we're approving.
Yep, thank you, sir. Give me 1 second to catch up. That's right, okay, so motion's made, motion's been seconded. Any other comments or questions regarding any clarification? So, and again, Steph, it's safe to say that you're spending less than your revenue stream.
Yes.
So again, we will continue to fit,
Yep.
build fund balance.
Yep, and we are continuing, as you can see on the CIP, we are continuing to replace equipment as we need to keep the equipment newer, so that we don't end up with any big, giant bills at once.
So I think it's important to note for the public too, is that, somebody's gonna be asking, what in the heck are you guys doing with $400,000 worth of fund balance? Besides the obvious of, having some rainy day funds for capital expenditures, with the expansion of 5G and broadband, there might very well be a day when our PEG fees aren't where they're at right now. This provides us a fund which we can draw upon, and continue to provide the excellent services that Stefan and Matt have been providing the community, until we can find another funding model, to help fill a void. So again, the township is proud right now to be able to collect those PEG fees, those $200,000, and use it as a capital lease payment to the school for all of the things that the school provides us. But again, that whole broadband thing gets a little creepy, and it's nice to have a little plan ahead there to make sure that we can cover our expenses moving forward, so in case anybody was wondering. Okay, motion's been made, motion's been seconded. No other comments or questions, if we can have.
Well, I appreciate the notes. This was helpful when I was reviewing the budget, to be able to check back. That helped me go through it a lot easier. And the other thing, we talk about alternative funding, it's easy to prove value when the value's there.
Mm-hmm.
So if, and I don't know where you've gone with the underwriting, we can talk about that later, but it is good that there is a substantial increase in the value of the product that the station's producing.
Okay, so again, all those in favor of the motion to approve the 2021-2022 video center budget, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Very well, Steph, again, we'll turn the meeting over to you and Matt for the update of the ITV production status.
I'll let Matt go first here.
Want me to start it?
Sure.
Want me to start with the bullets? Or you want to hit my part?
Hit your parts.
All right, I'll hit my parts. So, semester's nearing its end. We only got a little bit of time left with our seniors and rest of the underclassmen. 6th hour, the PM media production class, we're hoping to get 4 more games in. One thing we really tried to look at this year is we know football and basketball always are heavy hitters, but we're trying to see if we can get a little bit of, all the kinds of sports that we kind of can. So right now we're targeting a boys lacrosse, a girls lacrosse, soccer, and I believe it's girls soccer. We're hoping to get in these next couple weeks here. That'll kind of round out our sports season. In terms of the class, they're kind of in their project phase of the class. The first half is kind of more history and legal, but they're into their what I call their parody projects right now, and their final project is their short film docs. They'll be getting to those soon. But yeah, just nearing the end of the school year.
Yeah, and in terms of the
So
rest
Matt,
of it,
just a quick question. How does it feel to be responsible for shaping the minds of our youth, the future of America?
It's always interesting to see the kids that you can tell really click with something. I try to do, on Fridays we'll do what I call watch journals, where I try to have them watch something, anything they want to watch, and break down what they liked or didn't like about it. And some of the students really get into it and really go, oh, I really like this part because of these reasons, or I thought this shot was cool, or something like that. It's also nice to see in some of their projects where you can hear them talk and they're like, no, there's a funnier way to do that bit, or oh, let's do a PSA about this topic. So it's fun to see the kids that connect with the material, and it's also fun showing them older movies and asking their opinion. And one movie I've probably said before I have them watch is 1933's Invisible Man, and I have a little paper they do about it. It's fun to see, like, you know, for a black and white 1930s movie, it's all right. I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yes. I know it's been a while since we've talked. I was anxious to get your opinion, what it's
No.
like now to be on the, the teaching side of it. So, very good. Steph?
In terms of everything else that's going around ITV, something I'm really excited about is the idea that we will now, moving forward, be able to do a lot of events that we do in the gym, in the control room in the high school. So this, setting up for a basketball game or something, typically it's about an hour for us to set up, to take all that gear down there and get it set up. With this update, with these things that we're doing now, our setup is literally wheel 3 cameras down there, plug in a microphone, and we should be good to go. So our setup time will decrease, and students will, get to use that control room more, and we'll get to use the gear that we just updated in there a whole lot more. And then in terms of the other things, the control room updates are done over there. So if anyone wants to swing by, take a look, reach out to us.
Do we need an appointment to do that, or can we just
Yeah,
drop
call
in?
me, because then we can figure out the best time when students might not be running around as much in that room right now, or whenever, Otherwise, yeah.
To comment on the intern bullet point, the two of the interns we're bringing in, one is a former high school student, he's in college right now, and one of them is a current high school student. I had him last semester. Part of my role as being a part of the CTE department, Career and Technical Education department, I have to form a committee of industry professionals to help guide my class. And one of the roles is a student representative. He joined that committee and he wants to be an editor, so he's been asking good questions of the industry professionals. And then he said, hey, could I intern with you guys this summer? So we're excited to have him join. And it's always nice when you can have students that are really know what they want to do and are going, what proactive steps can I take to do that thing? So, yeah, excited for that.
Very cool. Any comments or questions for our team here?
At the last meeting, there was talk about 3 new shows that you had.
Yes, they are up and going. The Healthy Living Show, we post that weekly on Facebook, and it should be showing up on YouTube soon as well. It's done really well.
And who's the host?
Erica Arms, I think she has a business in downtown Clarkston or near downtown Clarkston. But that show's done really well, and I think adding the consistency to our Facebook page with a show that we do weekly, that's pretty short, that, on lunch, 5 minutes, you watch it, you're done. That's worked out really well. And then Santino, our other full-time employee, he has started a show called Perspectives. He has interviewed, I believe, Gary Call is the one that we just did, and I'm blanking on the first person. He interviewed a lawyer, and that's done well as well. Yep.
And
The
offer
third
number
show, it's escaping me at the moment. There is a third one. Can't think of what that is at the moment, though.
I do have a vinyl banner that says Perspectives, if you feel as though you may have a place for it.
Stole your stuff.
It's lovely. It was made by a professional sign maker. Just an idea.
Any other board members have any comments or questions for the team? With that,
Actually, I have one question.
yes, sir.
Do you have any sense of how Independence Township video facilities compare to other townships in North Wilson County?
So kind of, but it'd be kind of anecdotal for me. We do quite a bit of work with Lake Orion, and they're pretty similar to us. They're not out of the high school, but they work with their high school a lot. And actually, on that note, we're actually going to be working with Lake Orion at the end of the month. Something we've wanted to do is cover track meets, but the one track meet that we covered left us a little lost as to how to do it. But they do it over there all the time, so we are going to go over there and kind of watch over them and just kind of pick their brains about how they're doing it and how we could potentially start to do it as well.
and I think when I went, I don't know if you've been there, I know I've been there for their facility a couple years back. I think their technology is similar to ours. They might have a little more cubicle space and whatnot, but I mean, their technical stuff is similar to us, and while they do work with their high school, they're not as connected with theirs. I know sometimes when they're filming a game, their station manager and their teacher aren't always, oh, who's filming the game? Oh, it's this guy, not this guy. Oh, okay, we'll talk to that guy.
And Matt and I have both have been to some other stations around the state, and yeah, we're very comparable.
Now, Steph, when you say comparable, is that equipment-wise?
Equipment, yeah.
Or being integrated into the school like you guys are?
I don't know of anyone that quite integrates it like we do, but in terms of like equipment, staffing is similar depending on where you go.
I can't remember the school's name, but I know there's one conference I attended, must have been 2-3 years ago now. They were the only ones that seemed to have kind of a similar integration, in that they had kind of a two-manager structure that were often in the classroom.
Was
And
Alliance?
I think, no, it was over by Grand Rapids. I think it's Rockford High School,
Rockford sounds right.
if memory serves.
So I know 2 years ago at that conference, I was like, oh, that's a school worth picking their brain, because they're the only one doing something similar to what we're doing from what I've seen. So, and then the pandemic happened, but hopefully once things calm down, we'll get to ask them more questions and maybe pay them a visit.
Some of the other stations I have talked to have said they're very interested in how this works. And so, yeah, I mean, Matt and I both have had discussions like, this is how we handle it, this is how we do things, but.
Why pay for two
Did that
TV
answer your
studios when
question,
you can
sir?
pay for one?
Did that answer your question?
Yes, I was wondering how you thought we compared to other townships in Norfolk County, and the answer I got was we're very comparable, and possibly there's some townships that maybe not quite up to where we are, but certainly in terms of Lake Orion, they're pretty comparable.
Yep.
All right, that was it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm really proud of the integration efforts with the schools and Independence Television. Again, I love the idea of having that station utilized so much of the day with student activities, classroom learnings, as well as, the ability for the residents to come in. So I think that's where we're head and shoulders above most. I mean, anybody can buy equipment, but again, it's the efforts of these guys and the vision of Clarkston Community Schools to be able to work with the township to put together, I think, a spectacular program. Mr. Heyer, any closing comments?
No, sir.
All right, with that, if I could have a motion to adjourn.
Do you have a public comment?
That's gonna be kind of far and few between, as there's no public here.
As long as you legally check that box, we're good.
Anybody care to address the board from the public? Hearing none.
Move to adjourn.
Seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time. Stefan, great job.
Thank you.
Mr. Blow, always a pleasure, sir.
Likewise.